Over the years, when doing research on the different places I wanted to visit in Africa, I was always putting Burundi on the back burner because most of the things I read talked about how poor and how dangerous the country is. But after a friend of mine told me about their trip and how fun it was, I knew it was time to see for myself. Today, I'm going to be showing you some things I did and saw during my 3 days in Bujumbura, including restaurants, nightlife, accommodations, and more. So sit tight as we explore Bujumbura, Burundi. For those that don't know, Burundi is located in East Africa, with Rwanda to the north, Tanzania surrounding the east and south borders, and to the west you have the Democratic Republic of Congo, as well as the Great Tanganyika Lake, which is the second largest by volume and second deepest lake in the world. So when I first landed in Bujumbura, I was shocked. Already I can tell it was going to be much better than advertised. The streets were extremely clean and the city had a lot of natural beauty. Now I didn't know anything about this city. So after I dropped off my luggage, the staff at the hotel suggested that I check out an establishment called Zion Beach for lunch. Zion Beach is an extremely beautiful beachfront property. Here they host different events on their deck, such as small concerts, weddings, or anything else members of the community would like. The establishment offers a great lunch and dinner experience, as it sits right on Tanganyika Lake. The staff here were great, and since I was new in town, they recommended a couple places I should go party once the sun went down. After eating lunch, I hired a driver to drive me around the city so I could check it out. Bujumbura is a very small city, but has a population of 374,000 people. Now, one of the things I kept seeing on the internet about Burundi is that it was the poorest country in the world. This basically means that the country has the lowest GDP per capita in the world. Or in other words, the total value of goods produced and services provided in the country during 1 year is lower than every other country in the world. So yes, wages are low, but with that, the cost of living is low as well. For example, I paid my taxi driver only $20 to drive me all around the city, and that included a tip. The media will have you thinking that the country is one big slum, but as you see, that's not true at all. So, after checking out the city, I went back to my hotel to relax a little bit, then to get dressed to head to dinner at a restaurant called Vinotech, which was located in the small city center. The food at Vinotech was just okay, but what I soon realized is that at this time of night, which was like 9 p.m., the restaurant turned into more of a lounge, where people came to hang out and have drinks with friends. Now at about 11 p.m., the whole vibe of the place changes, as a DJ comes and people really start to party. Everybody I met was extremely friendly. A group of people I met here invited me to go to a club with them this night that was only a few minutes drive called Arena. Arena is a live music venue that had the vibe of a nightclub. While I was there, they had about 3 different groups performing throughout the night. And from the musicians to the actual singers, they were all great. Your boy got pretty lit because everybody I talked to insisted they buy me a drink. I had a lot of fun. Remember, I was just winging this trip. Actually, I had just spent about 5 days in Rwanda and decided to cut that trip short a few days so that I can hop across the border to experience Burundi. And after this first day, I was sold. Alright, so the next day, a few people I met at Arena picked me up to take me to lunch at a restaurant called Belvedere. From the outside, it doesn't look like much, but inside is a whole nother ballgame. We got there when they were first opening, so there weren't many people there. But for late lunch and during dinner time, I've been told it gets packed. The restaurant has 2 different floors. And on both floors, they have some amazing views. Check this out. After lunch, my new friends took me to another place called the Atrium. The Atrium is a beautiful restaurant and lounge that is kinda attached to the Royal Palm Resort. Since we just ate at Belvedere, we didn't order food. But we did grab a few drinks and hung out on their beachfront, which is on Tanganyika Lake. This lake is so huge that sometimes you mistake it for an ocean. Very relaxing. So after dropping me off at my hotel, another person I met during my first day here texted me and asked me if I wanted to attend a wedding ceremony. So you know I said yes. For those that are new to the channel, I've crashed quite a few weddings throughout Africa, but I actually got invited to this one. Burundian weddings are very beautiful. Men wear a normal suit, but Burundian women wear a beautiful and unique three-piece dress made of lightweight fabric. The bride's family arrives first. Then they wait to greet the family of the groom. The groom's family then arrives bearing many gifts. Traditional drummers, singers, and dancers perform while the groom's family take their seats. Throughout the wedding, there are a lot of performances. It was amazing to watch. They were all really talented. There are also some traditional things that were going on that made the entire wedding very cool. One of my favorite experiences during this trip. So after leaving the wedding, there was a restaurant that I saw on Google Maps that I wanted to try called Beirut. Upon arriving there, I ended up chatting with the owners who invited me to hang out with them and their friends. We ended up having drinks, singing, dancing, laughing. We had a blast. After hanging out at the restaurant for a few hours, we decided to head down the street to a club called Toxic to Really Party. We danced until we couldn't dance no more. It was a great time. The next morning, for lunch, I decided to check out a restaurant I heard about called Kariri Garden. This restaurant was very beautiful and relaxing. I was a bit hungover from the night before, so I just chilled out here for a few hours, enjoying the wonderful weather. After lunch, I decided to head back to my hotel to relax before going out my last night here in Burundi. At this point, I had been traveling for 35 days straight across 4 different countries, and just wanted to chill for a bit. The hotel I stayed at was called Martha Hotel. The hotel is in a quiet and slow-paced area, but is only a 10-minute drive to the city center, depending on the traffic. I stayed in their standard king room, which only cost about $100 per night, which was great value. They had all the amenities you would expect from a decent hotel. Check out this view from the room's balcony. Beautiful. The hotel had a free breakfast, a gym, and a nice pool. Although I didn't have dinner here, I've been told that the restaurant is a popular dining spot here in town. Later that night, I was invited out partying for my last night in Bujumbura, and we went out to a place called P Club, located in the city center. The DJs in all the night spots I visited were great, especially this one. After P Club, we went across the street to a club called Malibu. We had a great night and literally stayed here well into the next morning. If I would have known how wonderful Burundi was going to be, I would have stayed here for much longer. Although it's a small town that doesn't have many of the offerings of a big city, there are still many things to do. It's extremely safe, and the people of Burundi were more friendly than any other city I've been to around the world. On top of that, they have a visa on arrival for American citizens. So I just showed up, and the officers at the border took care of everything. It was an extremely smooth process. You should always do your research before traveling anywhere. But this is another example why you can't always believe what you see and hear in the media. If you want to check out some of the other cities I've visited throughout East Africa, or throughout the entire continent for that matter, you can click on one of the playlists on the screen. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.